Good morning, everyone. It's Jazz. It's the West Ham Minds channel. It's the transfer show latest. So hope everyone's doing good. Saturday morning. Still got a bit of the bugs. Still got the cold, the lingering West Ham virus, I think. So we'll see how long it takes to get better. Got some bad news for you guys regarding my dry January. On Thursday evening, I don't know why, I ate a mushroom vegan pie. That was awful and it didn't do a lot for me. And the next day, I went to the fish and chip shops and had a sausage and batter on the side as well. That lifted my spirits. Felt so much better, full of energy. And then in the evening, I did some painting as usual, still going through that project, and I thought I'd treat myself to 2 double rum and cokes. So, I'm top of the world. And what I am going to do now is try to do the vegetarian dry Jan Monday to Thursdays. That's my new effort. But seriously, thumbs up to you vegans especially. I don't know how you guys eat what you do before I get into any more of it into controversy. That's to the vegans. Well done, mate. Not for me. Vegetarians, still hard, but harder than, I mean, not as hard as vegans. But for me, yeah, my engine was just flat, and they could do these. Anyway, I'm going off tangent. So anyway, let's get back to the West Ham transfer window news. So before I go into the main theme of this show, which will be which striker a West Ham really link with and who could it be, before I go into that, let's give a quick summary of what's been going on. I didn't do a show yesterday, so a better summary. Kehra's gone to Monaco. Not sure who could replace him. We're linked with Jonathan Tah, centre-back option for West Ham. Been linked with him for a while now. See what happens there. Striker position we're going to go into in a bit. But yeah, Hugo Ekitike, Armando Broja, Chelsea, and obviously Jurassi, who we've looked at in more than one video before. Those are the three we'll be looking at in this video, and the ones that are being linked at the moment consistently. Still to make a move for any major move for any players this window, largely due to not quite sure what the budget is, and obviously the way Sullivan likes to operate, whether you agree with it or not, I don't, is that he likes to clear all the players out first and then see how much room he's got in the squad and headroom financial wise and things like that. I know a lot of you mentioned financial fair play isn't an issue for West Ham at the moment, but what you can't get away from the fact is that we are always going to be close. It only takes one reasonable transfer and then you're right up against it. So that will always be there. There's no way that we're comfortable and we're going to spend 30-40 million in this window, right? We could be below it now, as you guys say, but it only takes one transfer and you're always up against it. And you've seen what's happened to Everton and things like that, and financial fair play folks are getting very strict about this, whether you like it or not. And it's not just about the transfer fee, it's about the whole package, the wages, everything that counts. And as a club that doesn't really own any real assets or has a real big sponsor in any way, whether it's the ground or the shirts, doesn't own its own ground, like I said, the revenue is always not that great compared to other clubs, and that's what financial fair play is about. The more sponsorship you get, the more revenue you generate, the more you can spend money. And I think, Karen Brady looks after that side of things, and I think even the shirt manufacturer, Umbro, I mean, I'm just sick of it. I mean, okay, they do half a decent job, but look at other clubs, all changing things, Newcastle, Spurs, we just... I don't live near the ground, right? And it's a bit of a job trying to get that shirt in the shop. No problem getting a Man City, Tottenham shirt, things like that, right? So, again, on the shirt, a bit of a moan about that. I think we need to look at Nike, Puma, Adidas. Just revamp it a bit, fucking. And why they do it? Because Umbro give them a bigger margin. And Sullivan's attitude is, I want all the shirts. I want everyone to just buy the stuff from the 2-3 club shops we have. We get the most margin that way. We're not going to see our stuff in any of the high street branded shops, which are really useful for people that don't fucking live within like 2 miles of the ground. Fuck's sake. Anyway, that's my moan out of the way. Kehra's buyout clause will be £11 million should he meet the requirements to activate it. That's according to Fabrizio Romano on that. The other thing is, let me just bring my buddy. I've got 3 screens, 2 mouse, all that kind of stuff. Colchester United heavily interested in Callum Marshall on loan. I heard rumours this morning that someone's after Connor Coventry. We'll see what happens with that. Again, that's really odd for me how he never gets involved. So that's kind of the main things going around there. Eric Dyer, the rumours are still there, but he's been linked this morning with Bayern Munich. So irrespective of what happens, he's a player who will be moving on. And again, he might not be. We have made contact with him. We have made contact with Tottenham, but how high he is on our list, and whether it's one of those that we want to go for Jonathan Tah towards the second, third week of the window, depending on who else we can get out, depending on how much headroom we got, and then if Jonathan says no, then we go back to the. It's that kind of window probably for us and other clubs. It's just like they've got their priority. But first of all, they want to get rid of everyone. Then they want to sit down and see if those targets. A bit of a risky move because someone else could come in for any of the targets we want. And then with a week to go, we could find that Eric Dyer is still available, and we're going back in with him again, right? So whoever comes in, we can never say, are they Moyes' targets? Are they Tim's targets? Are they Sullivan's targets? How high were they? Were they always? It's usually with a week to go. We usually grab someone who wasn't on our horizon at the beginning of the window. So it's very messy, unplanned, all over the place usually. The clubs that plan it well, whether you like it or not, they get their targets in within the first week, 2 weeks. And then they'll sell someone towards the end. And the other trick is we're always looking at Chelsea like the left back I was mentioning. They'll only decide and get rid of fringe squad players on loan in the last 48 hours of the window. And are we going to wait that long? It's a risk. They could easily say no at the end, saying you're our competitor for top 4, top 6. We don't want to give you our player. It's a very, very risky out there. I would rather just get my targets in and then risk not getting rid of anyone. That's what I would do, because you've always got the other window to make sure financial player plays okay at the end of the day. I'd rather get my first targets in first, or really try to get them in, and then find out early if I'm going to get them or not, and then I move on. And that's the way I would work, instead of this random darts approach, that kind of thing, really. Anyway, with the show, interests me the most, striker. Which striker are we gonna get? We need a striker. David Moyes is kind of, I know he's pissed a lot of you off saying, I don't know who's out there. Everyone's after number 9, number 10. We don't know if we're going to get him. What makes me more nervous is that Antonio's back for the Bristol City game. And that might mean he might not really take another interest, a serious interest in the striker. He might not want it, really. But the 3 people we want to look at is the first one is Armando Broja, really. So if I look at his stats, interestingly, he's from Slough, not too far from where I first had my first house, and he was actually in the same primary school as my daughter, interesting enough. From an Albanian family. He plays for Albania, although he's born in the UK. He's 22 years old, 17 caps for Albania, 4 goals. He's about 6'2", 6'3". He's definitely David Moyes' type of player. David Moyes has expressed an interest in him. He did really well on loan in the Dutch league 2-3 years ago. He then went on to Southampton on loan, again did well, including scoring a goal against West Ham at London Stadium. He's a very, very strong boy for his age. He's more than happy to lead the line by himself. He's a very hard-working striker, team player, will run down the channels for you, hold it up. Everything that David Moyes wants from you, he's got. The only thing he needs to improve on is his goals tally. Obviously, watching his games last month, he's come back from a serious injury, been out for about a year, and he doesn't quite look 100% match fit or 100% slick in terms of taking his chances. So he's missed a lot of chances last 2, 3, 4 games for Chelsea, but that'll come in time. The more matches he plays, he'll kind of be fine. The only concern for me, the goals tally has to be improved, but that's not really a concern for me, because sooner or later that'll be fine. Yeah, he's always in the right positions. He's a good striker. The only problem is it's the injury. A lot of the times he plays 3 games and then he has to come off after 60 minutes holding his ankle, his knee, something like that. And then you don't see him for the next 2 games. Then he's back again. That's the only thing for me. So loan deal would be amazing if we could do it. The only issue is obviously we like Conor Gallagher, even though that's kind of to the back shelf at the moment. We don't really have that much money. But Brozier on loan would be good. I don't think they want to get rid of him permanently yet. Poch believes in youth and he does like Brozier. So on loan would be perfect for Chelsea. Chelsea go and get a big name striker that they need, and then in the summer they can look at Brozier again, depending on how it's done for us, really. So this could be quite doable. He's local. He doesn't probably have to move home, if anything, and he'll work out for all parties, and we do have a long-standing interest in him. So, and I think it will be David Moyes signing, and he will play him, and I think he'll suit West Ham down to the ground. So, and the loan would be perfect. I don't think they're going to give loan to Perm. He's got too much talent for Chelsea to quickly write him off. I think I do want to keep looking at him. So that one completely makes sense to me. And then he's a proper striker. He's not one of those that'll play in the left wing, right wing, in those three. He's a main target man, and for that really. The other one is obviously Hugo Ekitike from PSG. Similar age to Brozier, 21, 22. The difference with this guy, he's a little bit even more taller than Brozier at 6'3", 6'2", I think, and physically they're different. Brozier's actually, they're not really, even though Brozier's slightly more broader, this guy's more skinnier, but still similar height and similar players. I think they can play up front by themselves. Hugo can also play, I think, on the left wing, if I'm right. He's right-footed. Yeah, he can play on the right wing, actually. So he can play where Bowen's playing and up front by himself. Largely played in France. He hasn't had a chance at PSG. They've got so many strikers. He came from Reims in France, scoring, looks like, was it 10 in 24, and then 3 in 11 in the Danish league, looks like, or is it Norway? And then, so largely just France. But again, we've been linked with him for quite a while. We tried to get him through the last window. We didn't quite do it for one reason or another. I think the time ran out. And nothing's changed in his future. He's not getting any games at PSG. And this one could be another loan. I think it could work for us. Again, I think David Moyes is largely kind of interested in him. The other one is Guirassy, who I did mention briefly in my last show. He's 27, so he's a good 5-6 years older than the other two. He wouldn't come on loan, I don't think. He's a second high scorer in the Bundesliga behind Harry Kane. He's been banging in goals for about 3-4 years at least. And he's scored goals everywhere where he's been. He's going to be in the AFCON for Guinea. He's predominantly can play up front by himself, which he has been doing, or he can play as a left winger, which is our problem position. But I think that'll be wasting him on the wing. I think I'd like to see him through the middle or up front, really. So wherever, so Rennes, he's obviously, if I just go back and look at his history again, so funny enough, like Hugo Ekitike, he's got history at Rennes. They probably could have, they were probably there at the same time if I look at the stats. So Hugo was there in 2021, 2022. Yeah, they played together. That's really weird. So in that 2021-22 season at the French club Reims, Hugo scored 10 in 24. Guirassy scored 9 in 37. I didn't realise that. So Guirassy, they both played for the French team Rennes, where he banged in, loads of goals. And then he was at a club called Amiens, 9 in 23 there. FC Cologne, 2 in 16, back in 2018-19. So he's been about the block, France, back to Germany again. And this man, he doesn't set up a lot of goals, but he's a straightforward, old traditional striker. Dare I say it, a bit of a poor man's Didier Drogba, shall I say, even though everyone seems to be the next Didier Drogba, really. Internationally, 12 caps, 3 goals. He's the one who can hit the ground running, I think. And although he's not from the league, obviously, unlike Brozier, he'll take the other 2 time to settle in, I think. But I think any of those three would really be good. And the good thing about Jurassic, that everyone knows, is the 15, 16 million release clause, which is about 18 million in euros, I think, which is very, very achievable. I think one or two really good sources at West Ham have said he is our target. And I think any of those three would be fine. Obviously, I know a little bit less about Hugo than the other three. Broja, I am 120% Broja being a half-decent player. Jurassic, I got a lot of high hopes for him. I think he looks really, really good. And he's not a one-season flash in the pan. He's been doing it for 6, 7, 8, 9 years at different clubs. And he's at age where he's about to really be in his prime, if not already. He's 27. It's a really good age to get someone in. The other two a lot younger at 21, 22. But I'm happy with it. I think if I had to have a choice, I'm greedy. I'd love Jurassic on a permanent and Broja on the loan. But that's just me. But realistically, yeah, I think Broja or Jurassic, I don't mind any of those. I like permanent, so Jurassic coming in a permanent would be good. Loan with Broja will always be back of my mind that he's going to go back to Chelsea, despite how he does, and it'd be even worse if he does well and has to go back. Hugo, I don't know much about, so least excitement in Hugo, but any of those three really, really be good, and anyone out of these three, please. So, but I'm worried that Antonio's back fit now, and that might make David Moyes dilly and dally a bit more in who he wants, really. Anywhere else, I mean, the good news again is that Areola's looking good. Last 2-3 matches, I'm really, really happy about that. But yeah, we do need help at the back four. Agard, he's been available for transfer, and that confirms what I've been saying to you. I think he's a load of shit, and they're really, really concerned, the club. They're not going to get the 30 million plus they outlaid on him, but he's available for transfer. The club have mentioned that he's not progressed the way they thought he would, and same as what I'm thinking. I think we all got focused into his distribution, which is good, but as an out-and-out defender, he's got no defensive capabilities at all, and he needs to be, moved on, really. Kufal, obviously, I didn't mention it in my previous videos. He's been offered a new contract. He's not happy about it, and said he deserves to be given a bit more. I'm just wary that I've seen it happen so much, so often. And he has been doing well. And I'm just thinking, is that because of the contract? A lot of players play really, really well, including that Rashford lot, leading up to their contract, and then it all goes tits up. It's happened so often, and I don't know why it happens. I can't put my finger on it. But that's my worry, that he has been doing more than a shift with Emerson, and he's been, giving it everything. My worry is that, is it the contract or not? Hopefully it's not. I don't think he's that kind of guy. He gives it all. He's a fan favourite. Yeah, that kind of thing, really. Apart from that, I think Bowen's been ticking along all right. There's rumours that Paqueta's been seen training today or yesterday. So good news on that front. The quicker he comes, the better. Again, the rumours with Man City don't go away, and there's a few sources saying, Arsenal wouldn't mind him in their team. So they're always going to be there for Paqueta. Listen, we can't control that. All we can control is that he keeps playing well for us, and if he has to go one day and he wants to go, we get a really good profit, and then we move on and invest it again. Simple as that, really. That's what kind of football's all about. I didn't want to mention it, but I can notice that the Arsenal fans are really on Declan Rice's back now, big time. All the famous channels, including DT, went as far as to say that, Partey, they say, is much better than him, scores more goals, and we would like him to be in the team ahead of him, because he's just trying to do too much. So it looks like, the Rice thing's fallen off a cliff at the moment. And anyway, thought I'd just mention it. Quite interesting on that front. Apart from that, Alvarez, he's done really, really well starting in the summer. He's ticking along nicely. Kera's obviously gone. Cornet's a concern. The concern with Cornet, everyone, is that due to the ongoing injury and the confirmed injury issues he'll always going to have, we know we won't be able to sell him. They don't think we're going to be able to sell him. So, or the other reason is, that is one of the reasons. The other reason is that Moyes doesn't want to play him, because if he breaks down, that'll kind of stop any move happening for him. So again, I don't see the sense of that. If he breaks down, he breaks down. You got to give him a chance. So that is a very odd situation. Whether we're going to pay him up, is it going to be one of those where we pay him the rest of his contract? I ain't got a clue. That he ends up with a really big lump sum and we save a bit of money at the end of it. I don't know. It could be happening. You free up a space because it's really, really odd. Because you could join another club for free and play and not get injured. It's just weird. Other thing is Zuma. Yeah, a lot of people at the club are concerned about Zuma. He's always going to have to be managed. He can't play 2 games a week or 3, no chance. 1 week a game is just about enough for him. It might even come a situation where he doesn't train that often either. Again, that's why we need a couple of centre backs at the club. Who else apart from that? On the bench, yeah. So, like you said, we still need to get rid of a good few amount of players. Ben Johnson's been offered a couple of contracts. I don't know why. I think he's shit anyway. He's not signing it. Sonny Perkins came on the news this morning, everyone. Apparently, the Leeds manager has written him off, saying we had a look at him in training. We don't like his attitude. We don't like what he's capable of. And for the time being, he's not in any of our plans. So, again, I mean, another example of a player who wanted 60,000 a week without really doing anything in the first team. And goes back to my original comments. I don't get all hyped up about youth players for no reason. I want to see him in 9-10 games and we'll see how it goes. But it looks like a lot of youth fans start jumping up and down because they're one of our own and all that kind of bullshit. But yeah, a lot of these players. I think Solanke, there was one guy who went to Bournemouth who made a Stanislaus, wasn't it? I think he had a half decent career. Apart from that, I haven't seen much really from youth players going. And Nagaki is a load of shit. They go Watford doesn't even get regular games. Harrison Ford's been shipped out somewhere else from Newcastle. He's not ready. And Perkins ain't going to get a sniffer at Newcastle. So all these guys are doing is getting their big contracts. Perkins at Leeds, sorry, not Newcastle. So yeah, just believe in the manager and all that kind of thing. Even though we did have a contract ready for him, but yeah, these I don't know what families support these guys. You've been at a club that supported you, gave you a chance, nurtured you, and then you just stick 2 fingers up. What fucking family upbringing is that? You tell him, you encourage as parents, you encourage you guy to do that. Just have a bit of patience, mate. Just have a bit of patience. So that's it from me, I think. Again, we'll be watching the breaking news as and when it breaks. I don't expect too much to happen today. I will be at the Bristol City game tomorrow, so hopefully I'll shoot some footage for you in and around the ground and that kind of thing. But for me, again, back to the window, let's keep shipping at those people that he's not going to use. That includes Benrahma. Benrahma's available, as you know. No one's come in for Benrahma, by the way. It's a concern, isn't it? Can't get rid of Cornet because of the injury. Can't get rid of Benrahma because he's so shit. Even Algeria told him to fuck off. Thankfully, Kera's gone. Got a half decent reputation in Europe. And what a move to Monaco from Stratford. I know where I'd fucking rather be, mate. And then Agard concerns we're not going to get hardly anything back compared to what we've outlaid. So a lot of shit to get rid of and clean up. And then, but I'm confident that whoever comes in under Tim's kind of leadership will be interesting. Will be half decent. Will be good, really. So that's it from me. Early, quick transfer update. And yeah, you guys have a good Saturday. And I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Take care. Eat those vegan pies. Not.